Hi, this is Lori with Sweet Raw Joy, and today we're going to make a cashew Brazil hemp seed milk on the fly. What do I mean by on the fly? We're using specific kind of nuts that don't require you to soak them overnight. So we're going to be using cashews. So you can see that there's not a lot in there as far as a skin, and then of course Brazil nuts as well. And then last, the hemp seeds. If you've not seen these before, they look like little bitty nuts. Okay, well, let's go ahead and get started, shall we? The first thing I want to do is go ahead and put the nuts into the blender, and I'm using a Blendtec, and I just want to let you know that you don't have to go out and spend a lot of money on an expensive blender like a Blendtec right from the get-go. You can actually start with what you have. I actually started with an Oster blender from the 80s, so start with what you have and where you are. Another 1/4 cup of the Brazil nuts, and then also a 1/4 cup of the hemp seeds. Right. Next, we're going to pour in some filtered water. You want to use the best water you can find, okay? Because, you don't want to be using some fluoridated water, for instance. So we're going to go ahead and pour the whole 2 cups in there. All right. And then we're going to put the lid on, and we're going to make sure it's nice and tight. And we're going to blend for about 45-50 seconds. We'll see how it goes. Here we go. Now you'll notice I kind of went up 1 speed at a time and I came down 1 speed at a time. It's just a lot easier on your blender, so that's why I do that. Now we're going to get our nut milk bags out, and I'm using 3. The more nut milk bags you use, the creamier and silkier your nut milk is going to be. So I just put one inside the other like nesting dolls. And normally I use this pitcher, which is really big, and I can put my whole hand in it, but I want you to see what I'm doing. So instead of using this one, we're going to use this clear glass one so you can see what's taking place inside. So again, I'm going to take the nut milk bags. They're already put together the way I want them. And I'm going to drape that over the top. And then I'm going to pour in our mixture from the blender. And you can see it's already starting to do its job. It's starting to filter out the pulp and letting the milk go. All right, and once you have it all in there, then you can begin to twist the top. And as you twist the top, you'll see it's going to start pressuring the milk and the nuts at the end. And you'll get a feel for how hard you can twist and how hard you can squeeze the pulp. What you'll find is if you squeeze it too hard, you might be squirting it all over the place, and you might just squirt your eye out, for instance, and you don't want to do that. So you'll get a hang of it the first couple times you do this. So I'm going to just keep squeezing until we get all of the liquid out. And the other reason I love this nut milk is not only is it silky and delicious, but it's really full of good stuff. And also, you don't get a lot of pulp at the end. When you're making almond milk, you end up with at least 2 or 3 cups of it. So you kind of have to have a recipe. You can make crackers or muffins or just about anything out of that. But again, we're not going to end up with very much at all. Okay, so I think we've got it just about done. So you can see we just have a little bit of nut milk pulp in there, and so you don't have to feel bad about putting it in your compost. What I would recommend though is that you separate the bags and get rid of the pulp and wash them out really well, or just kind of pre-wash them. If you're not going to wash them right away, just pour some hot water, a little bit of soap in there, and kind of pre-wash it and then set it aside to wash later. Now, I also like to have a little vanilla and a little bit of sweetness in my nut milk. So I have measured out about 1.5 tablespoons of coconut nectar. I'm not going to use all of it. Now, coconut nectar is the only sweetener I use in my desserts and for myself as well, because it's vegan, it's raw, and also it is full of amino acids and B vitamins. Now, amino acids are the building blocks of protein. So instead of having to consume protein and letting your body break it down, it's already broken down for your body. So you're saving it some energy, if you will. So I'm going to go ahead and rinse out this carafe, and then we'll blend the milk with the vanilla and the sweetener, and I'll be right back. We're back. We have a clean carafe, got rid of the sediment that was left over. So now we're going to go ahead and pour this beautiful milk right back into the blender. And you can see how silky it is. Okay. And then I'm going to measure out I'm gonna go ahead and put a full teaspoon in. You might want to do half a teaspoon to start. You can always add more if you want, but I really like to have a really flavorful milk. So I'm gonna put a whole teaspoon of vanilla in there. And then I'm gonna measure, we'll see how much, maybe not quite all of this coconut nectar in there. I think that'll be good. Again, a little goes a long way, and you can always add more if you'd like. All right, we're gonna put the lid back on tight, and then we're gonna blend this up for just about 20 or 30 seconds. We're good. And you can see the color is already changed a little bit from the sweetener as well as the vanilla. And it's not quite as white as it was before. So we're gonna pour a little bit in this cup here. And we're gonna give it a little taste. Perfect. So there you have it. If you have any questions about this video or anything on my website, please contact me. My name is Laurie, that's Laurie @ sweetrawjoy.com, and enjoy.